Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5 best Sony cameras. Starting at number 5. Sony Alpha ZV E10. The Sony ZV E10 is Sony's contribution to the influx of dedicated vlogging cameras on the market, and it's an excellent choice that won't break the bank. It takes the best features from Sony's I+/6X00 lineup and marries them with a body designed specifically for vlogging. It uses the same sensor as the Sony I+/6400 above, but ditches the viewfinder, and adds a fully articulated screen that makes it easy to monitor yourself while recording. Other nice additions that vloggers will appreciate include a large dedicated recording button, a better internal microphone, and a headphone jack. If you want a camera that's even more portable, the Sony ZV E10 is a point-and-shoot version of the ZV E10 with a fixed zoom lens. You don't get as much flexibility since you can't switch out lenses, but it's smaller and simpler. Although battery life can be a bit of an issue since it easily overheats with longer recording sessions. You won't have that problem with the ZV E10, which boasts a great battery life on top of everything else. Coming at number 4. Sony Alpha Ice Mirrorless. The Sony I+/6000 is the best Sony Alpha camera option with a budget price point, short of looking at the used market. First released in 2014, this crop sensor camera was one of the most popular mirrorless models in its heyday and, despite its age, still makes for a good deal in today's market. Though you won't get the most reliable autofocus, and its viewfinder feels very soft and laggy compared to newer cameras, it's built around a high-resolution APS-C sensor that holds up surprisingly well. It doesn't perform as well in low light, and you don't have as much leeway to edit photos, but you'll get some very nice images straight out of the camera. Best of all, it uses the same lens mount as all other Alphas, meaning you can pair it with any number of high-quality lenses. It's also super lightweight and portable. Just don't expect to get amazing video out of this camera. It can't record in 4K, and 1080p video quality isn't anything to write home about. At number 3. Sony Alpha Ice 6400 Mirrorless. If you want to save even more money, Sony's APS-C Alpha lineup is a great middle ground for beginners or those who want a more portable kit. The Sony I+/6400 is the true mid-range option, sitting between the pricier Sony I+/6600 and the more beginner-oriented Sony I+/6100. It doesn't have built-in image stabilization like the I+/6600, but it has a higher resolution viewfinder and sturdier body than the I+/6100, offering a good balance of features and price. Naturally, an APS-C sensor won't have quite the same image quality as one of the full-frame options above. However, unless you're a pro or a hobbyist, the difference will be marginal, and you can still get amazing photos out of these cameras. They're also solid for video, especially for light vlogging or home videos. To top it off, they're portable, making it easy to take your camera with you wherever you go. Number 2 of my list. Sony A73 ILC7M3. If the Sony I+/7 IV is out of your budget, its predecessor, the Sony I+/7 III, is still a fantastic camera, despite being on the market since 2018. Though it's definitely behind the times when it comes to video features, it's still one of the best Sony cameras for photography. You get incredible image quality from its full-frame sensor, and though it isn't weather-sealed, it still feels well-be. If you'd prefer something more compact, the Sony I+/7C is essentially an I+/7 III packed into a smaller body. It's got some light upgrades, including tweaked color science and a newer autofocus system, but you also lose out on some buttons and dials and get a much smaller viewfinder. Depending on how big your lens is, the benefit of the smaller size is arguably marginal. However, it does make for a great high-quality travel camera in this price range, especially when paired with smaller prime lenses. And number 1. Sony Alpha 7 IV Full. The Sony I+/- 7 IV is the best Sony camera we've tested. It's a true hybrid camera that can pretty much do it all. Landscape photography? It's got dynamic range for days, and the 33MP sensor is great for prints. Sports and action photography? You'll be hard-pressed to find a quicker and more accurate autofocus system, not to mention a solid 10 frames per second burst rate. Video? This camera has you covered with unlimited recording times, high bit rates for better quality video, and plenty of frame rate options to capture everything from cinematic footage to slow motion. It's also wrapped up in a very well-built package with a sturdy weather-sealed body, a vari-angle touchscreen, and a high-resolution viewfinder, ensuring you get a good view of your subject. Plus, dual SD card slots for extra storage and all the ports you might need for video peripherals. Sony cameras are also among the best mirrorless cameras for battery life. All that hardware and processing power comes at the expense of portability, but if you're looking for the best of the best, short of dipping into pro territory, this is the camera to get. Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.